Thank you. Okay, we'll open the meeting. We start. Could any member or officers in physical attendance with an electronic device mute it to avoid feedback, please? Could remote participants keep their camera and microphone off unless they wish to speak, as this can affect the quality of the meeting? This meeting is being live webcast and the recording stays on the council's website. I'm the chair of the meeting, Councillor Paul Stephen. I'd like to welcome everyone to this meeting, this evening's hybrid Western Area Committee, including anyone attending remotely. The following Swale Borough Council officers are in attendance: Director of Resources, Lisa Fillery, Active Travel Coordinator, Michelle Anderson, Service Improvement and Project Manager, Andre Bowen, is going to be online.
He is.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Policy and Engagement Officer, Janet Dart. Kent County Council councillors for the area in attendance are Councillor Richard Palmer.
Yeah.
And we haven't got.
Rich Palmer's on a number
Going to say, do we have any councillors, parish councillors in attendance? I know we have. So, in person or remotely, could you please introduce yourself now? So,
Steve, by lane parish council. Most Spencer's Bobbing Parish Council.
Sarah Paul, the Clark and Borden Parish Council.
Brian Clark from Bredgar Parish Council.
Nicola Butlin from Borden Parish Council.
Councillor Monique Bonney.
okay. Thank you. Got any members of the public? No, I'll ask that then. If we did have members of the public, and if they would like to speak on any item, please raise your hand and I'll invite in turn to speak. Likewise, could anyone attending remotely please mute their microphone until they speak and indicate on the instant messenger if they wish to speak. Agenda item 1, emergency evacuation procedure. Please be aware of the evacuation procedures to follow in the event of an emergency. There are no scheduled tests of fire alarm during this meeting. If the alarm does sound, please leave the building quickly without collecting any of your possessions, using the doors signed as fire escapes, and assemble outside where directed. Await instructions before re-entering the building. Should anyone require assistance in evacuating the building, please make the Swale Borough Council officer aware of any special needs so that suitable arrangements may be made in the event of an emergency. Do we have anyone? No, that's fine, lovely. Okay. That's precisely. Agenda item 2, apologies for absence.
Yes, we have apologies from Councillor Lloyd Chapman, Councillor Roger Clark and Councillor Richard Palmer. And we have
Christine Palmer.
Christine Palmer. Sorry, I was looking at it.
James Deck.
Sorry. And online we have Councillor Mike Baldock and Councillor Monique Bonney.
You say about Lloyd Chapman?
I did, yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Agenda item 3, minutes. Do members agree the minutes of the meeting held on the 2nd of July 2025, minute numbers 124 to 134 as correct records? Agreed. Agenda item 4, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest of any kind that we can? That's good, thank you. The next agenda item has been swapped. We're going to take agenda item 6 and then agenda item 5. So that's agenda item 6 which is going to be consultation of public toilets. The service improvement and project manager, and Andre Bowen, and who is joining us online, is going to give a presentation on the public toilets consultation.
Apologies, Michelle, can go ahead first, as originally scheduled, as needed, if needed.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Happy for you to go first.
Okay, all right, thanks. Good evening, everyone. So as you're aware, I will be discussing the public toilet facilities consultation with yourselves. Janet, if you could go to the next slide, please. Okay, so this presentation it will show the facilities currently within Swale, the different ways in which services could be delivered, what we think is the most reasonable option, the consultation process, how the final decision will be made, and at the end, I'm happy to make note of any other suggestions or respond to any questions the best as I can. Next slide, please. We currently operate 16 public toilet facilities across the borough. Here, they have been divided by area committees. None in the Western area, but next slide, please. We want to make savings that could help the council reach a balanced budget position. So we've explored the benefits of delivering all services in-house. We explored continued outsourcing. There was an option of closing all toilets. An alternative was charging for the use of public toilets. The other option considered was transferring public toilet facilities to town or parish councils or some other local organizations. And we also looked into the community toilet scheme. Next slide, please. So it is difficult to choose one option as they all have their disadvantages. As such, we think the right mix is to transfer to town and parish councils and some appropriate organizations who are able to effectively keep public toilets open in their respective areas and respond to local demand. Also, it means also closing 3 toilet facilities out of a list of those that currently have low usage and have significant refurbishment costs and ongoing maintenance. We also intend to introduce a community toilet scheme by partnering with local businesses that will offer the public free of use their toilets during normal opening hours. And we will also continue operate the remaining 6. Next slide, please. So I do want to stress the point here that these are just proposals. At this stage, we want to have the views of Swale residents, visitors, community groups, and businesses. To ensure we make as many people aware of the consultation as possible, we've put posters in all the toilets. We have posters in all our offices, as well as paper forms. We've published details on our website and social media. We've also shared with the local press. We contacted local community groups and organizations, and town and parish councils. And last but not least, we're also doing presentations at area committees. We have also extended the consultation period for as long as possible. Area committee chairs also are welcome to provide a response for toilets that are in unparished areas. Next slide, please. At the end of the day, we do want to make sure our public toilet facilities operate in the best way for the future. In doing so, we will review the views expressed in this consultation. We'll look at the location of facilities, the amount of people who visit daily, the cost to operate, the condition, the amount of antisocial behavior reports, and what other local authorities are doing. The information that is gathered will be carefully considered by councillors before any final decisions are made. We're committed to ensuring that the voices of local communities are heard and reflected in our decision making, and encourage you to complete the survey if you haven't already done so. And then to the final slide, please. So that concludes the presentation, but I'm happy to make note of any suggestions or any questions that you may have. I'll try to answer as best as I can.
To the floor, does anybody have any questions? Councillor Baldock?
Thank you, Chair. I have been approached by a lot of people, and although these sites aren't in the Western area, they are used by people from the Western area, especially the Sittingbourne town centre ones. Now, given that we are almost certainly going to be facing unitarisation within 3 years, for money, I think it is a little premature to seek to close toilets at this time. All in favour of passing them on to parish, because I think in the long term they're more likely to be able to keep them open than the unitary will. So where there are parish councils or other bodies that are willing to take them on, I'm really in favour of that. But
Councillor Baldock,
really
you're breaking up.
Very mindful.
We can barely hear you.
Sorry. Is that better?
Yes.
Any better?
Yes. We
Okay.
can hear you.
Yeah. All I was saying was, I don't think we should rush to close them down ahead of unitarisation.
Okay.
I favour we can handing them over to parishes. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Oh, sorry, was there someone else?
Yeah, Councillor Palmer.
I tend to agree with Councillor Baldock, maybe we should have it. I have had people raise issues, and I have completed the online survey. I do feel toilets do serve a public. And have we investigated areas where they've got rid of toilets, where people have been defecating? That leads to health problems in itself. The main fact, public lands or public areas lead to an increased cost to the council. So, what investigations have done during COVID, the council, we made the conscious decision where a lot of authorities closed the toilets because of COVID. We kept them open, knowing that there were people who had to work and had to get to work, and it serves its purpose for people to be able to go and use the loo, and also it's a place where they can wash their hands. Councillor Baldock's right. There's a lot of people who have raised to me, they go into medical conditions where they need to use the toilets. And if they can't go into the town and use the toilets, and it's awkward for people, and a lot of shops and a lot of restaurants, they don't like people coming in, using their toilets, but not the food, not purchasing anything. So are we disadvantaging people with disabilities? And we need to look at the impact assessment there. We need to see what comes back. But I feel that we're rushing into something when we could wait and make a more reasoned judgment at some future date. I am against the closure of public toilets. In the survey that I have completed online, I can see the logic for the one in the Forum car park. There is one in Central Avenue in Sittingbourne. The one in the Forum car park is in a bit of a state, to be quite honest. So, I just think we are closing them, and we may be opening up to more issues particularly in relation to people urinating in the streets, defecating in the streets. And we are disadvantaging those people with medical conditions who used maybe come into town. We get rid of the toilet. Well,
Councillor Hunt,
I've not had anyone contact me about this, probably because I'm in the Western area. But obviously people from Western area residents do go out and use them, especially over at visiting over there. But I think if we're looking at this because of affordability, trying to save some money. Firstly, passing on to the parish council, I don't know why they would want to take them on. We're looking at saving money, so why would the parish councils want to be taken on? Maybe some instances they think they may be able to do it better, and looking at other ways that they may get cost out. But I think passing them over isn't the best thing. I think we need to look at other ways of doing toilets, because there is some places you go to and there is a bit of a charge for it, which people may not have a worry about. I think 50p or something, so we get some money back in to cover it. There's places to do that, and I know that we don't have a problem with it. And that does keep toilets open and still make sure that they're there when people need it. Especially with phones and everything, they just touch it on there and become away. So that I think needs looking at. But there is other ways as well that seems a bit strange, but I spend a lot of time in graveyards. You always do need toilets in graveyards, and nobody's just come up with hearing before about how cemeteries and things. Something that I do know have confidence in toilets.
Yeah, was it Tool Station or somewhere?
Councillor Bonny.
Janet, can you mute Ronnie? She's done it.
Yeah.
There is composting toilets, a lot of cemeteries, especially the natural burial grounds. I mean, those sorts of things could be used on a bigger scale, probably less cost. I think there's just other ways of doing things than having toilets that we have. So don't think any of those things have been looked at. And that's the sort of thing we do need to be looking at. But when we do look at the costs that we've got here, there's mentioned about the forum car park not being that good, but actually the cost per user is one of the less ones. So a lot of people are using them, which shows that they are needed. But when you go to something like the White House at Restart, costing £4.52 per user, that is a lot different to other ones we've got. So if there are toilets that aren't being used and the customers are not that person, then it seems to close them. But I do wonder where these costs have come from, because to say that it's costing £4.52 per user or 85p per user, we watched every single person that's gone in there and worked out exactly how's that working out and done.
Councillor Kavanagh.
This consultation has created a lot of anxiety amongst residents. As a lot of you know, I don't drive, so I come in on the bus. There's a petition on the bus, possibly from Newington and beyond, because we have a lot of people coming in. I've tried to explain to them the plan is not to shut the toilet, but that's what they're saying, is that the petition is to keep them open. But saying that, you're coming on the bus, you might be older, you might have a disability, you might have urgency. Although the one in the forum is not brilliant, it's handy. And certainly people have said, including the lady who I've come across in the ones by the library, she can't walk that far. And that's the difficulty. And as James said, 82 and 85p a time, without those, and the fact that it's a very handy disabled toilet and the forum toilets, that people get off the bus with their walkers, there's lots of people with walkers, get in there, do what they need to do and go about their business. And I know the one by the library is used as well. I wonder what misfortune it would cause if we shut one of those. I can't speak for the others. I know when I worked for Chalkwell, there would be one guy before we got there at 7:30 that would use the loo on his way to work. I think there's probably other people. Would you be able to go into a community? You know, would the pub be open at 7 in the morning? I suspect not for people. But no, the one from Sittingbourne in particular, lots of people are very anxious about it and how they will cope. Thank you.
Councillor Baldock.
Thank you, Chairman. Just on the parish councils, I'd say Borden Parish Council have opened their own toilet, which is proving very successful. And Bobbing Parish Council are currently investigating the possibility of opening a toilet. So, it's hard raising money to open a toilet. So, if there's a toilet already there, I don't think it's that unreasonable that some parishes might be interested in taking them on. I think the idea of saying why on earth would they want to? Well, parish councils, like other councils, do it because they want to do things for their community. So I don't think it's as unreasonable as was mentioned earlier that some of them might be interested, and I certainly think it's worth pursuing. Thank you.
I was just going to say, the Bobbing Parish Council has had a request from some residents asking for a toilet because there is no toilets on your list in the Western area. And I know that Borden have now gone through one as well. I think with the section 106 money.
Correct.
Councillor Sarah Stephen.
There is one in Western, it's a big miss. There is a toilet sinking door.
Yeah, I know. I hope you weren't going to say that.
And that was refurbed by us with some grant money. So there is one toilet in Western in the park.
Put that down.
I think there's a real problem there.
It closes at 8 o'clock in the evening and opens at 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's after by the lodge.
Yeah.
So it's actually, we're not going to do. So it's the low maintenance in a sense.
Anybody else? Are you happy to finish it there, Ryan?
Thank you everyone for your comments.
I mean, I think Councillor Hunt made a good point that you can get toilets where there's an entry system. I mean, when I go to France, you're always paying €1 out to go. So why can't we look at that? Would that be a?
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
My experience with paid toilets at other authorities is that they cost more to maintain the payment mechanism than you will ever recover. As my professional opinion on this, I would not recommend that as a solution to thinking it's going to save us costs, because it does not. It costs more. The theory sounds like it will work. The reality is something completely different. Exactly. Yeah.
I was one at Victoria, but
Both. Well, the money operated system, but then an app will cost us to run and install and will be smart kit that will then also be attractive. I think if vandalism is our problem at the moment with nothing other than a toilet in it, we put something fancy on it, it's going to be worse. And in my experience, it has never ever made any money at all to help run the costs. Pardon?
Don't phone in your pocket, keep stuck on your roll. Don't know how much it cost you.
yeah.
No comment.
No.
Did have one, but I'll get myself into trouble.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Andre, for your presentation. Okay, we're going to go now to agenda item 5, which is the active travel coordinator, Michelle Anderson, is going to give a presentation on local cycling and walking infrastructure plan consultation. Thank you.
Thanks, Chair. Evening, everyone. So this is about the Swale Local Walking and Cycling Infrastructure Plan, which I'm going to call the LC-WIP going forward, just because I can't be bothered to keep saying it over and over again. So this is going out for public consultation. It's actually out online now. Why isn't it moving? Oh, there you go. Let me do it now. So first of all, let me put some context around it. So what is an LC-WIP and why do we need one, basically? They are very much evidence-led long-term plans. And it's for us to identify cycling, walking and wheeling routes across the borough. Since COVID, cycling has become a little bit more prevalent. So I think it's about time that we kind of move with the times and actually got an infrastructure plan in place. But it's got to be a high quality infrastructure plan. So the central government has appointed Active Travel England a few years ago now. I think, when was that? Over 5 years ago now. And what they do is they give us guidance on how to put together an LC-WIP. Many councils have. We're one of the few that haven't got one at the moment. And they give us a lot of guidance and policy documents. So everything that you'll read online in the LC-WIP that we've put together does follow Active Travel England guidance. What this will do for us is that if we've got a Swale-wide WIP in place, we'll be able to have an informed network-based approach to planning and delivering the infrastructure we need to make it more of an active travelling borough. So the problem with any infrastructure improvements is funding. For us to be able to do that, we have to have funding, and this isn't cheap. This is really expensive. You're talking millions if you're looking at everything that we're doing. Without an LC-WIP in place, we're not getting any funding. It's as simple as that. So this just gives you a little bit of an update about what LC-WIPs actually provide. It's a network plan, so you'll see this in the documents. It will eventually give us a prioritised programme of the routes once we've gone through public consultation. But what it will also give you is a background report. How did it come up with the routes? What's the background of the borough, etc. So it's a very long document when you look at it online. The benefits of active travel, I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer. Health is a huge one. So diabetes, cancer, dementia, depression, you name it, it's on there. So active travel will really improve all elements of health of our residents. Not only that, the environment and the air quality as well. Globally, they're saying it prevents just over 8,000 premature deaths, with a saving of over £550 million a year to the nation if we actually improve our active travel and we meet our government guidelines of doubling cycling and walking. Congestion, there was one in London that was put in, and it now says that it's moving 46% of people in only 30% of the road space now. I saw something on LinkedIn today actually, and a resident was moaning that they couldn't get across the road because there was too many cyclists on the bridge. Just kind of made me giggle a little bit. But you know, it shows that if you build it, they will come, as they say. Climate change, obviously, more people out of cars, less emissions in the air, which would be fantastic. But actually, one of the surprising ones that I found is the footfall and the local businesses. So if you're driving into town, when I drive into town, I drive as close to the shop I need to go to, get out, go to the shop, get back in my car and go home. But if I'm actually cycling into town or walking into town because the infrastructure is better, then actually I'm going to mooch around a bit. You know, I'm going to make the most of it while I'm there. I'll probably stop and have a bit of lunch or whatever. So actually, you can get up to a 40% increase in local businesses by encouraging active travel, which is huge. And we've already spoken about health, but actually they're saying that physical inactivity is costing NHS up to £1 billion a year. So an indirect cost is 8.2 billion. You just need to look at Wales and how successful that 20 miles per hour in order to reduce the amount of cars travelling faster, which encourages more walking and cycling, etc., to see the benefits of that as an example. So yes, we're out for public consultation at the moment. What I will say is that Swell does already have one agreed LC whip in place, and that's in Faversham. Faversham has had an LC whip in place since 2022. The town council themselves did it. And I have to say, I took a student on board a couple of weeks ago, and I drove her around the borough. We started off on Sheppey and went across Sittingbourne, and we were looking at active travel in the area, and there wasn't that much evidence of it, to be fair. And then we went, a couple of days later, we went to Faversham, and she said it felt so different. And this is somebody who comes from Norwich. And she said that you can see the different road markings. You can see it's a slower pace. It's a 20 miles per hour zone. There's a lot more zebra crossings and things like that, and pedestrian prioritisations there. So for me, I'm leaving Faversham pretty much as it is. So Faversham Town Council is doing a really grand job on the LC whip there. So my job really is to try and bring the Sheppey Towns and Sittingbourne areas up to that sort of standard, and this is the first stage of that. What we've done is that we've used data, evidence, stakeholder engagement. We've looked at lots of different things with some consultants, and we've identified a very high level network of different walking, cycling and wheeling routes across the borough. And we want the public to have their say on it. We want them to tell us, you're the ones that have the local knowledge. I mean, consultants were sent out that are trained in this. They did cycle a lot of the routes themselves, to be fair, and I was quite impressed with that. But they've come up with a plan. The maps are very small, but they will be better once you actually get involved. So how can you get involved? You can give your comments and feedback online. So there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can read the executive summary report, or even the full report. The full report's really long, about 150 pages long. So what I did, I put together an executive summary that kind of just gives you a good flavour of what it's about, but still gives you the right amount of detail. So that might be easier to digest. Look at the maps that are online and the proposed routes. You can feedback one of two ways. There's a questionnaire there. If you're only interested in Sheppey Towns, ignore the Sittingbourne. If you're only interested in Sittingbourne, ignore the Sheppey Towns. If you're only interested in, you can pick and choose the questions you want to answer. You can actually just look at the map, press the pin, stick it on the route that you want to look at. So you only actually want to look at, I know, Kemsley to Iwade. That's the only one you're interested in. Choice actually, wasn't it? Because the Grover's roundabout. Say looking at our way to the bridge, that's easier. You could actually click on that and actually put some feedback. You can even upload some photographs to say, actually, this is a really steep bit here. It'd be actually rubbish for cycling. So, you know, you can give us some real quality feedback in that sense. I said answer the questionnaire. Too ahead of myself. I'm also going to put paper copies of all of this, including bigger blown up maps, the documents, etc., in 3 hubs across the borough. So even though the online is available now from the 1st of September through to the 26th of October, the paper copies, I just looked in the print room on my way up and they are sitting there. So they are now ready. So I'll be starting to put them up and they'll be ready for Monday. They are going to be here in reception. They're going to be in the Gateway in Sheerness, and they're going to be at Faversham Town Council Information Centre. I think that's right, isn't it? Marketplace. So there will be paper copies there as well. Said where it's going to be. I'm ahead of myself, and I've also said where it's going to close. So what will happen after public consultation? We will review all the feedback. We will then draft a final report. We'll take that through to the councillors. Each of the routes will be prioritised. And most importantly, I will then be able to start bidding for some funding. It's not only funding from Active Travel England, although that's where most of the funding does come from. But it's also, this would allow us, if we had an LC whip in place, it would allow us to look at developers and say, Section 106, we need this here or that there. That forms part of our LC whip. At the moment, we have no chance to do that. So this is really important for us to really move forward on a good infrastructure. Any questions?
Thanks, Karen.
Any of us in Sittingbourne know we've got a lot of very busy roads. Now, when I went to the bus stop on the A2, no one in their right mind would use the A2. There's not room for a cycle. Some use the pedestrian footpath, which isn't safe for pedestrians. That is my concern. I hear what you're saying, but a lot of roads don't have spare width, but they are not safe. And I do not believe they will be safe having mad drivers going along here. I've got a bike. I don't use it because my dad won't be here tonight, you know, because drivers drive very dangerously and you have no protection on a bike. If you're designing a new town from scratch, it's a lot easier, I'm sure. So what are you going to do for the likes of the London Road?
Do you know, it is a difficult one, and we're stuck with a legacy of roads, infrastructure, building, bad design. If you think about it, Netherlands started this in the 1970s. Now they're 55 years ahead of us, and it's taken them a long time to get where they are. But it's doable, and even where it looks like there's good space, even actually when you look down under the ground, that's where all the power cables are, etc. So it's not as easy as it looks at all. So once we've got what we want, and it is our top level aspirational routes, then actually that's when it goes into deeper levels of design work to say, well, actually, can we move this across a bit more? Do we put actually parking restrictions? Do we take some of the path from here, move it across? That's what the designers are for. So it's amazing. I saw them design the next stage between Kemsley and Highstead, going all the way round and up Bell Road. And actually the design that they showed me up Bell Road blew my mind. I was like, Jesus, can you actually do that? You know, because it looked amazing. I can kind of see why I'm not a designer, because I couldn't see it at all. But it was amazing. So I don't know the answer, but that's why we've got consultants.
I'm not trying to be awkward.
No, you're not being awkward at all. I think it all the time, and I do it as a job. So yeah, so you'll be surprised what they can do, but it wouldn't necessarily, a cycle route or walking route, don't be naive enough to think that it's going to follow a road, because it probably won't.
But as long as it vaguely goes in the direction you want, that's all you need.
But it can completely be apart from the road. And the whole idea, the aspiration is that we have segregation between traffic, vehicular traffic, cycles and walkers. It's not always possible. Most of the time it's not possible, but that's the aspiration, and this is where we need to get to. We've got to start somewhere.
Councillor Hunt?
I think it's definitely something that's needed. I think there's a lot that can be done, but it sounds like something we've done before. And we have these trail cycling and walking guidance statement. Seen that.
Guidance statement is very different from a local cycling infrastructure plan from active travelling and guidance, because we've not had that before in Swale. So this will allow us to bid for funding to move it to the next level.
So when we did the guidance statement, it was meant to be, and it was, but it ran out in 22 and should have been updated and hadn't been. But it was working alongside the local plan and trying to get developers to do more because of what we're asking. There's lots of priorities and monitoring everything, but at that point there was a lot of work done about routes, and then again there was someone, consultants came in, did the writing of the routes, and there was heat maps as well that we looked at to see where people go and how it could be improved. So a lot of work had been done at that time that might still be available, but it hasn't actually materialised. I'm just wondering, again, all this work, what is going to be done to make sure that we deliver? Because we have got things that from that there is like new developments with North West Sittingbourne, that parts of it has come forward as a linear path. One's in highways, all the developments have got agreements to put in cycle path right the way down Checking line connects up to the ones through developers on the links through to City Hall. Because it's developers, because they come through at different times, nothing gets actually delivered until years later when they're all joined up. So we're looking at the 30 years before these ones. So that is doing this work, but actually having that more funding. Is there going to be ways to make sure that these sorts of things are delivered a lot sooner? Is it going to fall into plans to make sure it's all connected up?
I think that's a good point that you make, and I can't speak what happened in 2022. I started this job around a year ago in January, full time, and we now have a full-time active travel officer, and my job is to look at this stuff. Prior to me, there was not a full-time active travel officer, so that has changed things already. It was kind of a little bit within planning, but it wasn't anyone's full-time job to look at it. When you say about deliverability of things, the crux of this is money. It's as simple as that. And the problem I have is that even when I did a high level estimate of Kemsley Station up to the Memorial Hospital, to put that in, to plan it, to design it, and to actually physically build it, more than £8 million. Where the hell are we going to get £8 million from? No, we will never get £8 million or even part of it unless we have a whip in place. So, because nobody will give us any money without a whip in place, it will be distributed to other councils that do have infrastructure plans that have been agreed and gone to council and public consultation. So we've got to start somewhere, and this is the start of it. And it's going to take years, decades to get there. I'm not denying that.
Councillor Baldock.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's sad to hear so much negativity about it, because I think it's a really good thing, a really good approach. Just two comments, really. I mean, the first is, I think it would be better not to use comparisons with London, because London is just so different. You can cycle to a lot of places in London, in somewhere like Swale, a couple of miles, and you're miles from anywhere. So it'd be nice to see comparisons with some LC whips that have been put in other districts rather than London. And the other point is, it is very urban centric what we're designing at the moment. I would have liked to have seen maybe some more rural links, using some of the byways, because if you look at somewhere like Bredgar, a lot of places can get to Bredgar, and then it's hard getting into town. But you could have there's a potential route using public rights of way that would take you from Bredgar into Minturn Avenue, and then you're a lot closer into the town. Also somewhere like Upchurch or something, there are byways that could make the road safer, or there are even some roads that you could just identify as cycleways. It's getting people in the rural areas to be able to use the cycles as well, because cycling on some of these country lanes is as dangerous as cycling along the A2 now. And I just think we ought to be trying to see what we can do about some of the rural areas as well, especially the larger villages. But apart from that, I think this is really good, and we should be supporting it.
Thanks, Councillor. One thing I'd say on that, if I can come back, please, is that part of the analysis on this, and the reason we chose the routes that we chose, is that there's lots of different criteria you need to put together to choose the route. So the propensity for people to cycle on the route is quite high. The closeness to schools, the closeness to business hubs, that kind of thing. So there's no point spending, £5 million on a route that is only going to serve 3 people per week to get into and from work. Whereas if you're looking at some of the routes that we've chosen, they link towns up, they link business and schools up. And that's why they're chosen. It was put through quite a large analytical tool from Active Travel England so that we could choose those specific routes. But further down the line, once we start kind of getting some of these out the door, then actually there's no reason to look further afield and then start linking things up. But that's a long way down the line yet.
Yeah, on a personal note, I was out this morning cycling. And I didn't leave to have gone 9:30. I've never cycled before that. Cycle after 4 o'clock, but it's country lane, so I did Bredgar. I did the long way, about 8 or 9 miles, and which was lovely. And I came across quite a few cyclists, and these are obviously racing bikes and everything else. They're great, but if you're talking about bridle paths or other paths, you can't cycle a sports bike across those. I'm lucky I've got an all-terrain one which allows me to do it, and I've done that a couple of times. It's great fun. It's not the ideal way to travel, but no, I wouldn't cycle down the A2.
No.
I've done it once, and that was when I've done the churches, Kent Churches cycle ride, and we came back through Tenham, up the A2, and I cycled extremely fast so to get off of the A2, and that was on a Sunday afternoon. So yes, we have got problems, and it would be nice to do some cycle routes, but I can see why people don't want to use them. The speeds of the traffic and the lorries. But when you're out in the country, I see more cyclists do cars. And I've cycled down at Dymchurch as well, and that's lovely. Lovely and flat. You go out from the beach and you don't see a car. You see loads more cyclists and move down there. So I love cycling, but no, yes, I'm looking forward to this, and let's hope we get some good results. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, so we're moving on to agenda item 7, public forum. We will go move on to agenda item 8, which is local issues to be raised. Do members have any issues you would like to raise on behalf of local residents stroke communities?
No.
I've just got you could bring up matters arising. Yeah, matters arising. Have we got any local issues? Anyone? Well, move straight on to it. Yes, Councillor Sarah Thegan, you may talk now.
Just saying what lovely toilets we have in King George's. We have had an issue of vandalism in King George's this week. Sadly, it's a really nasty vandalism. The board for the baby memorial has been defaced with graffiti, and the wall below it has been painted on. So I've put it out to Marissa and Dean. She's going to get Phil Sutton to do a statement. I've reported it to police. Police advised me that we should go to the press. It was just so heartbreaking. Paul and I were there because we maintained it, we look after it for charities. We were there putting 2 new names up. How are those families going to feel when they go and see that board? I'm going to pass the mic on to Rose and see it. It's very distressing. It looked child like. If it's a young child, there should have been an adult there, and were they allowing them to do it? We don't know. We think it happened at the end of last week. It was a friend of mine was actually walking in the park towards the end of the week and didn't see any problem. So we think it's happened very, very recently. Very distressing because the people, as I've done it, as a midwife, it's heartbreaking for the families. They're having enough to do with, and then she comes to their memorial area and have the board defaced. Martin Cassell has got is getting going tough and contractors to come out and see it and see if they can do anything to put it as right as we can. But yeah, broke my heart on Saturday with all the work we're doing. We're still coming up to the point where I'm raising money for the flower beds and everything. So I'll pass the pictures around, but it's just a bit of distressing news to pass to you on something so sensitive and beautiful. I'll pass it around.
Yeah, I think they used chalk. There's a lot of chalk in the ground around there. Chunks of chalk, they just scratched it across the metal board, which will be covered by plaques anyway, tiles. But when you look at it now, there's 2 rows of tiles. Above that, lots of scratches over the paint. So
Well, it's like an acrylic surface, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's been stored basically. The chalk, it's natural, the chalk has got stones in it.
oh,
What I was going to
yeah.
say,
Um,
don't go out in the media. If you've got contact with parents or something, I would let them know before it goes into the media. Personally, because the media might blow up.
you can see it when you're. And luckily, it didn't touch the tile.
Well, that's why I've noticed the nurse and don't feel something
Yeah.
to do it the right way.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard anything from them. Paul, you've, sorry, Councillor Stephen, you have let, the charity know, haven't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Charity
can.
sees now.
Thankfully, they didn't deface any of the
No.
tiles. That
It
would
takes
have
one of
been
the
horrible.
vases.
But hopefully that will be covered. I say hopefully. Well, hopefully, but it does. It will. The top one is full, and this one is starting now to fill up.
It's not going to encourage people to put a black on. Because let's see, not a vandalised area, but, you know.
Did you not get planning for that?
But the trouble is, the glue that I use, it's an industrial glue that I've tried to take one of the plaques off before because there was a wrong name on it. Thankfully, it was at the end of the row and it snapped in half as I was taking it off. The glue is very, very good that I use. But if we stuck anything on it, then we'd have have to take it off and we might damage one of the other tiles. I mean, I think they're £40 each for the parents to do that. But I mean, I might try a bit of tea-cut on it to get that back. Yeah, but well, because being a scratch on paint, sometimes you can. And well, it is paint. It's a shiny paint. Stonework underneath. That can be jet. Hopefully, that'll be jet washed and cleaned up. But
even if it was chalk, you don't just randomly find some paint on the ground.
No, it's deliberate.
Yeah.
It's definitely deliberate. And when it's first looking, it did have some chalk graffiti on the wall, but I could scrub that off. That wasn't a problem. But this is just the most opera. Something you're doing for the community, and that someone for some random reason that was going on in their minds has done that.
we did have someone write on the wall. What about the pets?
Yeah, that's the first one, wasn't it?
I'm thinking, yeah, well, there'd be a different ball for pets, nothing to do with this one. But I mean, some people are so strange.
So sorry to have to bring bad news, but it's obviously it's the West area initiative because I bought it to the committee right at the beginning. And it took me the 2 years to get it all up and running, and we're still doing the project for the gardens. So it is really upsetting that it's gone like it's gone.
That's nice.
One thing I would say is to approach local field directors. Field directors. That's the sort of thing that they get involved with and so
Yes.
so just go to the local field directors. Know that one of our work for they might age definitely being involved and
Because we're looking for about £3,000 to do gardens.
just approach field directors and say
We've got some flyers.
get involved.
Yeah, I've got some.
Good idea. Thank
Thank you.
James. That's good. Good idea. Okay, thank you, councillors. Any more matters arising? No, that's wonderful. Yeah,
Any issues on the floor?
oh, yes. That's what I was saying. Right, we've got the report to the Western Area Committee. Has anybody got any issues they want to raise on the ongoing actions? We've discussed the local bus forum. Brexham Conservation Area Review. Anybody got anything on that one? Well, local heritage list. And area of special control advertisements. Councillor Baldock.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, we were going to have a revised, another round of heritage listing this year. Is that still happening? Because I don't notice that we've put out any calls for them. We may have done earlier in the year, but I haven't heard anything about it since. So what are we doing? Because I know there are people were looking at getting some stuff listed this year that hadn't been listed last year.
Can I just jump in
Back
there?
in October you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think we'd do another one now?
Yes,
Yeah,
scheduled to
just-
start from 8th of September,
Huh?
6 weeks. Election panel meeting.
No, we agreed last time that we would do it when it was drawn up last October. We agreed we would do another one this year, and that was agreed when the heritage listing was adopted.
Can I just jump in here? Mike, we had an email today about to think about heritage listings.
Ah, brilliant. Fantastic.
Okay.
Thanks, Nick. Sorry, Councillor Buckland.
The heritage officer has had a period of absence this year, so the timetables, if they were agreed before that, they may be subject to slippage, so just please bear that in mind.
Okay.
Thank you. The minutes, sorry, agenda item 10, Swale Bus Forum.
Hang on, you got
minutes for
Brian
noting.
from Bredgar yet, Chair? You got Brian from
Sorry?
Bredgar had his hand up.
Oh, sorry. Councillor Clark.
Yeah, it's only I'm just checking on the Bexham Conservation Area. So we haven't had the draft consultation yet, but I suppose it's due any time soon now, isn't it? I suppose mid-September.
It was, yeah, mid.
Consultation document mid-September to be followed.
Yes, yeah.
Councillor Clark, so the update report states that we expect to receive the draft consultation document by mid-September 25, to be followed by 6 weeks of consultation soon after.
Yeah, I saw that. I was just, we're looking forward to seeing it, so we should see it fairly soon then. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you. I was just checking really.
Thank you. Any more questions? Move on then. Agenda item 10.
Apologies. Councillor Paul has just pointed out that it went out yesterday.
Ah. Good. We can update that. I will get to agenda item 10. It's just this Swale Bus Forum minutes for noting. You will find the latest minutes from Swale Bus Forum in the agenda pack. Are there any issues anyone would like our representatives on the forum, Councillor Mike Baldock, to feed to the forum? No, we've got nothing to feed back, Mike, so thank you.
Oh no.
Agenda item 11, matters to be referred to service committee chairs for consideration. I'm not aware of any at present.
Nothing came up.
Okay. Right, so that just leaves us with the date of the next meeting. Which is going to be Thursday, the 27th of November. Then here. Okay, the 27th. It's on the back here. Only I've got that, sorry. I'm looking at thinking that was the agenda. Sorry, the agenda notes. But yes, yes, I'm supposed to let you know that, aren't I? So, great, 27th of November. Okay. That is the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Allows that you don't leave by yourselves if you're going out the back. Look out for each other. Thanks.
Well done, Paul. Cheers.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.